What's up, everyone? I'm here with my cold brew and my colleague, Hunter Seagroves. And today we're going to take you through how Michelle Rodriguez trained for Fast and Furious 10. As you might know, we've had the pleasure of working with Michelle for a while, and my colleague and my wingman, Hunter Seagroves, my secret weapon, had the pleasure of working with Michelle for Fast and Furious 10. And today we're going to talk about how he trained Michelle for the movie. If you want to train like Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 84, Alicia Vikander in Tomb Raider, Alexander Skarsgård in Tarzan, Ben Affleck in Justice League, James McAvoy in Glass, I share all those exact programs on my app. I also have body weight programs, nutrition guides. You can also message me in the app. So Hunter, we worked with Michelle on Dungeons and Dragons.
That's right.
So Fast and Furious happened just a couple of months after Dungeons and Dragons were filmed. How many months in between did you have to prep Michelle for this movie?
We started prep about 2 months before production.
But she was already in good shape then.
I was gonna say, we had just finished Dungeons and Dragons. She'd done 3 months of prep with you here in LA, and then 5 months of maintenance with me in Belfast. She took a couple of weeks off in between projects to shake her sillies out, and then as soon as she got the call about Fast and Furious, we were right back in the lab.
So what did those 2 months look like? How many times per week did you guys work out? How long were the sessions, and what was the programming like?
We trained 4 times a week for about an hour, give or take. Sometimes we were done a little bit less than that. Sometimes we'd go over 15, 20 minutes. And we stuck to total body routines this session, which was different from what we had done in the past. And the routines were organized kind of by movement pattern. Every routine had some pushing, had some pulling, had some leg work, and we would just vary the direction of pushing. So sometimes we would do a bench press for a horizontal press. Sometimes we would do an overhead press for a vertical press. We would do isolation exercises on one day. So, we'd do bicep curls, tricep work, lateral raises, shoulder isolation exercises, and then other days were more compound movements. And something else that I incorporated this time was, just because Michelle had expressed the desire for a very lean aesthetic for this film, for her role in Dungeons and Dragons, it made more sense for as much muscle mass as possible. She was playing a barbarian, but for this, we wanted something that was a little bit more svelte. So Sexy, yeah, exactly. That probably was her exact word. So we did quite a bit of body weight and gymnastics style strength training for the upper body.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was great. So chin-ups, dips, a lot of work on the gymnastics rings. We had some fun.
And the fun part about that, or the rewarding part, it's not only about building a body, you're actually getting better at performing certain movements and, everything from handstands.
Exactly. There's a skill acquisition component to it,
yeah,
which keeps the buy-in really high. You can get burnt out if you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over. So I took this as an opportunity to kind of keep Michelle really interested and teach her some new stuff that I was passionate about.
So Hunter is an expert when it comes to movement training. You do a lot of Ida Portal stuff, and I call it stuff. Ida Portal stuff. But when it comes to movement, you're amazing. Actually, we're gonna add some clips so you can see what he's.
Cool.
I can easily do that, but I just don't want
to. I've seen it. I can vouch.
So Hunter, when you flew over to the UK, this film is filmed in London.
That's right.
What did the training look like over there?
Well, as we discussed previously, when the rubber hits the road and production starts, things can get a little hectic. All I wanted to do was give Michelle the best. I wanted to design a perfect week of training every week, and just kind of going from session to session. What were we able to accomplish yesterday? What do we still need to address by the end of the week? And just kind of filling in the gaps.
So basically, you look at what you have done, and then you make sure to do what you didn't do.
Exactly, and then just sort of doing the basics, applying progressive overload. It's my job to keep track of how many reps are being done, how much weight is being lifted, and the next week, we want to establish new personal bests.
And progressive overload is key if you want to build strength and muscle mass, or muscle mass, I should say. And another thing that matters is volume. Volume comes from how heavy the weight is that you pick up, how many reps you're doing, and how many sets. So if you're doing body weight, for example, and the exercise is a little easier, then you can do more reps, or you should do more reps. Same thing if you're doing something that's super heavy, you might have to do that for many more sets to get the same volume. So it's that combination between how many reps, how many sets, and what is the weight that I'm picking up.
Right. And when it comes to body weight training, an important point is that the intensity of the exercise can vary depending on where you're at. So people think of intensity as being like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. But I think that you'd agree that intensity, a better definition of intensity, is proximity, or how close it is to your max.
Yeah.
So say, you could probably do 12, 15 chin-ups, no problem. But a lot of people doing one is nearly impossible. So for you, a chin-up is a moderate intensity exercise. But for somebody who can do 1 to 5, that's a very high intensity exercise. So that was useful for me because, as I mentioned, Michelle was looking for a more economical and smaller frame for this film. And the lower rep ranges at higher intensity were very effective for maintaining tone without adding excess bulk.
And that also probably meant that she kept her strength.
Oh, without a doubt, or made improvements, I would say.
So body weight workouts, fairly heavy or intense. So nutrition, what did that look like? I mean, she came out of Dungeons and Dragons when she was on a good regimen, nutrition-wise. Mm-hmm. Did you guys just keep that up, or how did you approach nutrition for these 2 months of prep?
You're exactly right. It was very much the same. We came at it from a maintenance mindset, and if anything, it allowed us a bit more flexibility. We're always prioritizing protein. We're always prioritizing quality energy sources and consistent meal timing. But she had a little bit more wiggle room because, as you've spoken about in the past, when you have a good base of lean tissue and you've gotten your metabolism to a nice, healthy place, it's much more challenging to build muscle or to lose fat than it is to just stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I should point out, when you said maintenance, that means you didn't bulk, you didn't overeat calories, you didn't do a cut when you were doing a strict diet. You were eating about the same calories every day that she was spending. You made sure to eat protein, which are the building stones of the muscle and tissue, and then a healthy combination of fat and carbs, which are, the body's fuel source.
Exactly. And thankfully, Michelle's a very intuitive eater, and generally you can feel, after you've built some sensitivity, if you are hungry at the end of the day, generally you can trust that you are in a caloric deficit. And if you are very full, generally you're in a caloric surplus. So you just eat to satiety.
Yeah.
You make sure that the food quality is high and that the macronutrient intake is balanced, but you kind of eat until you're satisfied and then you are good.
Cool. Did you follow the Magnus method philosophy of 17 out of 20 meals on point and 3 out of 20 enjoy life?
You already know we did. Hell yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. There you have it, guys. Now you know how Michelle Rodriguez trained and got in shape, or stayed in shape, for Fast and Furious 10. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, man. Thank you.